In a world where every Rob, Steve, and Lane has a podcast, two good brothers will try to rise above the rest. Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder invite you to pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that is full to the gills with thrills, chills, and spills to hopefully pay the bills. I'm your host from the hills, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Oh, Howie Blues, I'm here. I'm ready to roll for another edition of the show. Not quite from the hills, more so from the valley, I guess you could say, in the current terms of things. But you know what? We're going to make it work. We're going to do what we can to, yes, pay them bills. Because, we need to do that, I guess. It's about that time. So, how you doing?
Kidder, it has been a week. Been
Again?
It seems like every week has been a week. Been doing some traveling. We are currently working on installing a new POS system, which is point of sale for those who aren't down with the retail lingo. We're installing a new POS system.
Not a POS.
Yeah. Let me come back to that, Kidder. So we're installing a new point of sale system in our stores at all of our sites, which is great because when I started with the agency, we had a couple of stores that were on a system called Retail Pro that was great. Came with the barcode scanner, digitally kept track of your inventory. It was great. But some of our smaller stores, they weren't on that. They had tags that they had to like punch in the code and tear them the bottom of the tag and put in a jar so that then at the end of the night they could sit with the jar and fill out a giant spreadsheet to show what they had sold for the day. Which again, I started in 2018. There's no reason for us to have such low tech. So our executive director, Bill, when he started, and he's only been with us for a couple of years, there's a couple of things he wanted to do was, one, improve our online store, and two, with that, improve our POS system. And it's not necessarily the top of the line one we got, because here's the thing, Kidder, the people who make the POS software that is like top of the line is the good stuff and the stuff that we wanted. They refused to fill out the mountain of procurement paperwork that North Dakota IT, NDIT, required. They basically said, wait, we had to fill out all this? Nope. So that dropped us down to like the second string of POS software folks. So unfortunately, we didn't get the best of the best, which is stupid because NDIT's whole thing is like, wow, we got to prevent the hacker man from hacking the systems and all of that. The thing about it is most of these major POS systems, they would be a third-party vendor. So even if you were to hack it, you'd be hacking them and would be nowhere near state data or systems. And so it's one of those ridiculous things. But anyway, it has allowed me to it has allowed me to travel though this week. I got to go to Oscar Zero, everybody's favorite Minuteman missile site. And that was a good day, a lot of fun. I didn't go to Pembina because the group that's doing the install are kind of doing these road trips with it. So this week they did Oscar on Tuesday, Pembina on Wednesday, Fort Totten on Thursday. Pembina is not one of my sites, so I didn't feel the need to go all the way up to Pembina because I could have found stuff to do to help them, but it didn't really seem. Let me put it this way: it didn't seem like I should incur more, or cost the state more money so they could pay for a hotel room for 2 nights so that I could sit around and maybe be useful at Pemina. Didn't make sense.
You could have taken flood pictures for use on your personal time.
My sister-in-law actually got some, and maybe I'll bug her about sharing. We'll see. Anyway, because they were pretty impressive. Anyway, so I did that. I was at Oscar on Tuesday. Wednesday, I was back at the home office, and then I met them at Totten on Thursday. The only thing was they stayed in Devil's Lake Thursday night, and so they were like, "We're starting early. We're going to start at 8 a.m." It's like, crap. Because Fort Totten is 2 hours and 44 minutes away from Bismarck, which meant that for me to be there at 8 a.m. to join them meant I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning so that I could get to the Heritage Center and hop in my State Fleet vehicle and be on the road by 5:15. So, yeah, that was a long day, but it was a good day. Kidder, I will have some more to this story a little bit later because I got some ranting to do. So we'll come back to that.
Does that mean we need something to drink?
I was going to say, I've already feel like I've been doing a lot of the talking. I felt like I did a lot of the talking last week. I feel like I've done a lot of the talking so far this week, Kidder. It's time for some vocal lubrication. It's time we find out what's on tap.
What's on tap? Let's go to the tap room, shall we? And see what's there. Orion, what should we have tonight? Orion guarding the tap room. So very, very good. Let's go top shelf here, Orion. Let's go with this one. Because it's imported, it's German and American, so it's probably something decent. Although, hold on, where's the date on this? Doesn't have a date. No. Yeah, it does. Well, let's read the can. It's a Leinenkugels, going back to the Hofbrau München. Sorry about that. 12 fluid ounces and 5.4 alcohol per volume for the percentage there. Again, the collaboration lager. It's an amber lager with imported German malts and American hops. Nice little scenery on the front of the can there. Germany to Wisconsin is what they have on the back. With over 550 years of combined brewing experience, the collaboration between Leinenkugel and Hofbrau München is a blend of German tradition and American ingenuity. Brewed, that is, in the spirit of Reinheitsgebot. I'm sorry. It's German. A German word that starts with R. Leinenkugel's collaboration lager is an American lager, amber lager, that is, brewed with imported German malts and unique American hops to create a beer that is flavorful, balanced, and refreshing. Chippewa Falls, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, those two cities there make the Leinenkugels. And it's union-made, recycle aluminum, and yes, it is Ball Arena aluminum as part of your Colorado Avalanche. So let's go ahead and open this up. Howard, have you missed doing the What's on Tap? I know you get to do it last week in the Grand Return, but I mean, have you missed it?
I have missed it, but I missed the entire show. I actually was having a conversation with the local geek over on the Triple B Facebook page, where I made the comment about it's been hard sitting here in the editing suite, listening to you guys have these conversations and not being able to participate. So it's good to be back and such. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time.
Okay.
But how was your beer?
Welcome back. I was just sniffing it. I was getting the full body of the flavor, the scent there. And you do smell that amber ale, the golden nature of it, but I don't smell any lake water or Germans. So let's give it a shot. It's not too bad. It's not too heavy, but it's not light. It does have that amber, golden malt taste to it, and then you get a little bit of the on the other end of it there with the the German collaboration. So yeah, this one's pretty good. Have you had this one? I don't think you have.
I have not. I have not had that one.
There's just a little bit of hoppiness on the end after you take a couple sips, so it's not terrible. Well, we're gonna have to get one of these puppies in your hand and see how you feel about it. There's no fruit either, so it's a win-win.
Yeah. Good.
What's on tap for you? No fruit.
No fruit. Kidder, I got a pair of beers here because I figured there will be around two.
I thought you said there was no fruit. Sorry. It's been a long day.
It has, and I no longer have my little sound effect machine where I could do like the wah, wah, wah. I mean, I'll put the rim shot in there. But,
yeah, thank you. Yeah. I'll be here all night.
Anyway, I have a pair of beers that was recommended to me by the Triple B's beer critic. That's right, the king of cheap beers. My dad sent me some beer, and well, the last time he did that, we all know what happened. And if you don't know what happened, hey, go check out the episode Triple B of Doom, and you'll know. You'll know.
YouTube hasn't removed the video yet, even though it kills two people in the video. So not sure how that works, because I'm pretty sure it's against YouTube's terms of service, but
but these are actually beers that he likes. I can't remember which, because he gave these to me a while ago, and I have had a complete and total lack of sleep since then. But I can tell you, he rates on the 10 scale. One he rated a 7.5 one he rated a 7. The other one was like a 7.5/8. So high ratings from our beer critic, who is like the world's toughest beer critic. As such. But anyway,
taste buds are just the toughest.
Well, yes, it makes for great commentary. But Kidder, these are, well, the first one here. Both of these come from the Campfire. I believe it was Campfire variety pack from our good friends down in Texas, Shiner. That's right.
Yeah, all right. Here we go.
Shiner, the official beer of Farva. Anyway, the first one that I have here is the Shiner Toasted Ember Lager.
It's a classy looking can.
Yeah, it looks.
Now that I talked, and then of course it went away. I'm sorry for that. If you could,
it's all right. I'm still holding it. People can still see it. It's double-sided. Let's see what I got here for notes. It's 4.5% alcohol by volume, lightly toasted barley, and our finest hops. And yeah, that's all I got here, Kidder. Not much for
that's about it.
That's
Man,
about it.
We spent 8 months putting this can design together. It looks the greatest. This beer is the greatest Shiner product ever made. Let's not put anything on there to tell you what it's all about.
Yeah. Didn't know that. Apparently Shiner's been around since 1909. Anyway, no real distinct smell to it. but we'll give it a taste. And I think this is the one that he rated higher for reasons when we get to the other one. Interesting. Now I know this is an amber lager, but it tastes, Kidder, like it's darker than that. Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite like a dark beer, but it's it's darker than I expected it to be. I enjoy it. I'm not really picking up the hops, but definitely you can kind of get the toasted barley taste in it. So
that's good.
It's good. It's all right. I don't know that I'd rate it as high as our beer critic, but he would probably tell me, what do I know? So anyway, I'll enjoy drinking this for the first half of the show.
Awesome. I was just going to say that, I mean, if Shiner is the official beer sponsor of Farva, they need to start getting us some of those one sheets so then we know more about beer. And on top of it, maybe some 6 or 12 packs, maybe some 24 packs. I mean, the fridge is getting a little empty. So just going to say, maybe we should have them, get us rolling a little bit better.
Yeah, except I didn't say they were the official sponsor of Farva. I just said they were the official beer of Farva. Oh,
well then Farva can fulfill that requirement. Huh?
Yeah. Kidder, I know you haven't seen it yet because it's not out yet, but I did finish editing the last episode with Farva in it.
Yeah.
And I had to go in and change his lower third because on his original lower third, we put, he shaved his mustache for this.
That's true, because he grew it back and then some.
Yeah, so I changed it to he grew a beard for this. So,
I mean, it's not wrong.
No, I also we also need to talk to him about his camera angle because he always has his head like down here, so you can't put the lower third down here. You have to like put it up above him, and it just looks weird.
I just put it up over his face. Some people might call it censorship. Other people might call graphic design. Camera operation 101. Frame your subject correctly. Use the rule of thirds, both top to bottom and side to side. Why? Because then you look great.
Well, he had the rule of third. I mean, he was in the middle third of the screen.
That's true.
Because he filmed in portraits. So we have 2 lovely black bars. And when I was editing it, I was like, oh, I could just, like mask around him and put our background in there. It'll look classy. And then I realized, like, that means I have to cut out every single Farva scene. And I'm like, I'm editing this at like dark 30 at night. No. I'm not putting that much effort into it. So
could have gone the super lazy way and then hoped that it didn't bleed through, but put a color key on it. So then you key out true black with a 1% key rate so that it's only that one. And then you see random stuff just key out, like my hat here or my microphone. You start seeing the moving background there or something like that. That's what we need in an episode. It's like the Illuminati are invading or something.
Yeah, if I did that though, kid, there'd be like it would do a color chrome like right here on you, right where your heart is. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That is often a true black. Yes, it's very, very dark. Very dark. Very good, very evil. Whatever that is.
I hope that people enjoy that run of episodes that I'm gone, because I will say, Kidder, you provided me like 4 very different but yet very interesting episodes. You know,
Good.
You know,
I'm happy to help.
it almost was like more of a shock of like what is going to be in this.
Yes. Yes.
You know, because like I wasn't expecting like, hey, here's JS running a skid steer and footage of that. You know,
Yep.
I was not expecting Big D on the toilet. You know, yeah,
and he flushed the Big D.
he did, which actually, his internet was already starting to go, Kidder. So when he did that, like that audio is just, it was screwed to begin with. Like it was just it's like, yep. So
that's what happens when you don't pay for the full speeds, or you're stuck in the middle of a hotel in the middle of a city with bad reception to begin with.
I made some comment about him needing to stay in a better hotel in the episode.
Perfect.
You know,
he deserves it.
Mm-hmm. Future Howard was a little salty at times in the comments. It just depended though. Like, I don't know. Did you watch or at least scrub through the episode that came out tonight?
It's on to my left. just kind of monitoring it as we go.
There's a great bit in there that I'll be happy to hear what your reaction is to it, because I had fun with it. So,
like the live from undisclosed city. Had you asked, I could have got you the KRDN live. Damn it.
Hey, you know, I thought about that, and I it's like, maybe, and then it switches. It only appears in that section, and then later, Kidder, when you get into it, like when you guys were actually recording him with the skid steer stuff, I actually just relabeled it as the JS skid steer cam. So,
if you ever wanted to see what it's like to operate a skid steer, this is your episode. Not this one. You have to go back 3 and watch that. 2, technically. I mean, this one's out, so you gotta go back 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. So you'll know it just from the title, because it was quite the title.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think we got to start uploading all of the past thumbnails so then people can look at them. Like, maybe we should start an album, and we have an album for each year. Once the year is done, here's the season 1 of thumbnails for the episodes.
Yeah,
and then year 3 starts. Then here's season 2.
I mean, it's very possible for us to do something along those lines, and maybe we should. Which, speaking of the thumbnails, Kidder, way back, many episodes ago, I said I had changed something on our YouTube page, and we sent people off on a wild goose chase to see if they could find it. Nobody ever commented that they found it, so I'll just tell people what happened or what it was.
And I forgot.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. What it was is, if you saw our 1 year anniversary thumbnail, you would have seen that it was our kind of logo with a lovely mosaic of all of the thumbnails from all of the episodes. Here's the thing. Episodes 1 and 2 really didn't have thumbnails. It was actually like just an actual screenshot of us as we did it back then, when it was both of us on screen the whole time, and the quality was terrible and all of that. So, Kidder, I actually made thumbnails for episodes 1 and 2 and put them in. So
I did happen to see that, and I appreciate the trophy for the big one.
I figured you would. I figured you would.
I'm not. I no. I'll keep that trophy for later.
Oh, you know, when you and Clinton did that in in the episode with him, I felt so bad. I kind of wanted to put something about, Clinton, we have a little bit better of a trophy budget than that because he held his hand under it. Like it was a small trophy, not realizing that we have like the world's largest and most obnoxious beer trophy. So
only the best here at Triple P.
Yeah. Although I'm kind of tempted now, Kidder, to go out and buy you a giant, beer trophy so that instead of me having to constantly do that with your hand, you could just pick it up and go, here's your trophy. And then save me like, minutes of editing.
Fair enough. But they'll still have to receive it, right? Gotta like take the thing.
Most of them have not reacted in receiving it. The only two who have ever done it was Clinton, who did the longest speech, which drove me crazy because he just wiggled just enough that I had to keep adjusting it. And then there was Rude Boy Kyle, who actually drank from the trophy.
It's true. It's what you do with a beer trophy. Put beer in it and drink out of it.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that you've been enjoying the time that you were away and catching up on all the moments from it, because it's really what I wanted to do. Wanted to have some fun. But before we got the vocal lubrication, mention that you have a rant. So we've had our fun. Howard is pissed. Why are you pissed now? He's stretching. This isn't. He's pulling up his sleeves. This isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
Somebody put a cherry in your old fashioned?
No. Kidder, I want to talk about like the absolute worst customer service and just sheer stupidity that I have gotten to deal with for like the last week. So, it all starts with my sister was in town for Little Miss's baptism, which was great. It was great to see my sister. But both my sister and myself and my mom, three of us, were due for new phones. Not that mine was in really bad condition. It was just old, and like I had to like charge it like midway through the day to get a full day's charge out of it, and we were pretty much out of memory on it and such. But otherwise, it was still very functional and great. So my mom and my sister made an appointment to go into the Verizon store to order these phones. And they made the appointment, they showed up, and the treatment they got was not great. Basically, the guy that they ended up meeting with was very much just kind of like, well, you just order your phone online. Was not helpful, did not try to explain things to them, did not answer questions really, just basically was like, oh, just go order it online. So my mom was already pissed because she's like, these phones are expensive. We're looking at dropping, several $100s on new phones, and you're going to have this attitude. So she wasn't happy. And she was talking to somebody else, and they said, hey, you should go buy your phones from Best Buy because they are associated with Verizon. You can get an activated plan. Their phones tend to be cheaper. And the person she was talking to was like, yeah, the whole family, we went in, we all got new phones. They set us all up. It was great. And such. So my mom, who was ticked off now at the Verizon folks, is like, fine, we'll go try this experience. So she went in with my sister and ended up, everybody got, phones. My sister and I, they had to order our phones, which was fine. My only gripe at this point, Kidder, is when they asked my mom about, hey, do you have like a rewards account. She's like, well, I don't, but my son probably does. So they went to put it on mine, and it's like, oh, you have all these points. So they redeemed all of my points on the phones. So
awesome. Good work. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks. Not that I shop at Best Buy a lot, so
no, I mean to them, because that's their Christmas gift now that they stole all your rewards.
Yeah, I mean, well, basically though, as my mom said, it paid for my phone. So,
well, there you go.
So, anyway,
what did you end up getting? Just
we'll get
we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there, kidder. We'll get there.
Okay.
So here's the thing. So since they had to order the phones, it's okay. They could have my phone shipped to our local Best Buy. But my sister lives in rural Michigan. I mean, rural Michigan. So my mom's like, hey, we'll need one phone shipped here to this store and one to her in Michigan. What carrier do you use? And they're like, oh, well, we use UPS. My mom goes, are you sure you use UPS? Yep, we use UPS for everything. Like, you're sure? Yep, we do. Okay, that's good. Because the mine that my sister works at has a private contract with UPS, so they could mail it directly to the mine, and it would be there, it'd be safe, it'd be secure. Should be a good deal. The fact that I'm telling you this, kidder, tells you something goes wrong with this.
I already have ideas because I've been down that road before.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah. So they placed the order. All that's fine. My sister and I are getting the same phone. I have upgraded from the Samsung Galaxy 7 to the Samsung Galaxy 21, which tells you just how old my phone was. And then I know there's some other numbers, and as Kidder can tell all of you, I am about as phone literate as a kid who, I don't know where I was going with that analogy.
As an old man, you boomer.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I just was never into like phone tech was never my thing. Okay, so it's the Galaxy S21 FE 5G is the phone I got.
His phone's got letters and numbers in it. It's new.
Yeah. So there it is. Nice. I haven't got to play with it a lot, and I'll explain why here in a bit. So, yeah, Kidder's just like, oh my gosh, how many layers is this? This is like an onion, Kidder. It's just going to keep getting.
This is like normal. I understand. Every time.
So the first thing that happens is my sister gets tracking information for her phone, which is not being shipped UPS. It's being shipped USPS. Because it's being shipped USPS, it is now being shipped to an address, Kidder, that does not exist.
Awesome.
So when my mom finds this out, she goes into Best Buy the next day and says, hey, I need you guys to fix this order because you're mailing it to an address that doesn't exist. And the kid, who I will not say his name, but I will have run-ins with him later. The kid says, well, we can't do anything. We're going to have to wait for it to get to its final destination, and then it'll get bounced back to us. My mom goes, it's not going to get bounced back to you because there is no final destination. It's going to an address that doesn't exist. It's going to just float around in limbo and be bounced around from different post office to different post office because nobody knows where to deliver this. He goes, okay, but we can't do anything until it reaches its final destination. Which I could tell you, having heard this from my mom, that in her mind, her, and I will apologize to my own future Howard self, was probably thinking, you're a idiot, because there is no final destination. So Best Buy lets her down on that. And my mom ends up going, looking at the tracking info, seeing that it's going, like its next destination is this small post office in rural Upper Peninsula, Michigan. You know, the kind that's only open from like 9 till 1 p.m. So she calls the post office. Nobody answers, trying to see if she could stop the package. She gets up the next morning, makes sure she's in by 9. It's already left that post office for the next little post office. So she calls that one, and they were able to stop the package and send it on to my sister. So far, my mom got that one resolved. My phone comes in, and they had told her, you know, it's going to take about an hour to do the activation and the data transfer. So be prepared for that. So I went in on a Saturday. Like, okay, I'm going to go in. We'll make this happen. Go through all the activation process. You know, I was like, hey, what's your phone number? I give him my phone number. He starts activating it, does the transfer. I'm there for like an hour, almost an hour and a half. It took a while. Not as long as the couple who were down at the end, who apparently hadn't been told that it could take an hour, and it had taken them 2 hours, and the mom was freaking out because they were supposed to be somewhere else, and my gosh, we were supposed to be out of Best Buy by 11, but now it's 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'm going to have to start calling people, telling them we're going to be late. This is how I entertained myself. That and watching the trailer for Halo Infinite on the big 8K TV across the way, which I have to say did not really make me want to play Halo Infinite. There's some wonky stuff that they chose to showcase in that trailer, but that's a tangent. So I get my phone and go, and Lefty had actually gone shopping at Kohl's for some baby clothes and such. So I meet up with her. We get in the car. We go home. I spend the rest of the day wrangling a toddler and such. Now, I had already ordered a case because I knew what phone I was getting. So I'm like, I'll just order my case. It'll arrive at the same time and such. Which is part of why I haven't also played with it, Kidder, because as you notice, no case on this thing. It was supposed to be here Wednesday. It's sitting in the Bismarck sorting facility because UPS decided to transfer it to USPS. USPS hasn't accepted it. So anyway, because I don't have a case for it, and because I have a toddler who likes to throw things, my phone basically lives on a high shelf. So I really haven't got to play with it. Anyway, 10 o'clock that night. Junior's actually, it was closer to 10:30 that night. No, it was 10. Junior's in bed. I'm sitting there going through, trying to set up all my stuff on my phone. You know, like, hey, sign into Facebook, do that. Sign into this, set that up. The thing is now all of these apps require two-step verification. So all of these apps are saying, hey, we're sending a message to your phone, but no messages showing up. Like, I'm not seeing any messages from them. I'm sitting there like for half an hour, not getting anything, trying everything. I finally like, you know what? There's a second messenger app on here. Let me pull that up. Nope. No messages for any of that. So I do notice that I have like 8 missed text messages from my mom. So I'm like, well, better open that up. Wonder what's going on. They weren't for me. The numbskulls at Best Buy, when they activated my phone, activated it under my sister's number. So I effectively had her phone.
Classic.
Yeah. So I went into Best Buy the next day after calling my mom, who again had some more vulgar language that if I said would, well, you know, we'd definitely have to put the explicit label on this episode. She was not happy. So I went into Best Buy the next day as soon as they opened, and ended up talking to a different person than the person who activated it. The person who activated it was the same person who couldn't understand the Final Destination concept that my mom was trying to get through his thick skull. So I ended up talking to a different person, and I said, hey, I came in and I activated my phone, but you guys activated it to the wrong number. I need you to activate it to my number and restore my sister's number back to her because she hadn't activated her new phone. So when they activated my new phone to her number, she was without a phone. Like, her phone was gone until I fixed this. And the guy behind the counter is like, well, I can't do that. Because if I do, it will brick your phone. He said, so the best thing you could do is just exchange SIM cards with her. Like, she lives in rural Michigan. That's not happening. Oh, well, I guess you're going to have to call Verizon and go through them. I said, you guys should really do a better job of paying attention to this stuff when you're, activating it so this kind of crap doesn't happen. He goes, well, I don't know how so-and-so made this mistake, but I'll have a talking to him and we'll do some training. To which I, of course, in my head was like, bullshit. Kind of wanted to say, hey, I host a show about bullshit, and I know bullshit when I hear it, and that's bullshit. You're just going to say, hey, apparently you set that up to the wrong phone. Oh, man, I don't know. And that's it. That's all the further it's going to go. So in that case, it's bullshit. So my mom ended up having to call Verizon. They got everything activated and fixed and restored, which was good. It's probably the best experience my mom has had with Verizon in years. And seems like that's the end of the story.
Yeah, no, we still have more. I know we do.
yeah, we do, kidder. So I said I went to Oscar Zero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I usually, whenever I travel to my sites, I pull up the directions on my phone. Not because I don't know how to get there, but I like that when I have the map up, like I can see, like, hey, you're 40 minutes away and we'll be arriving at this time. I just kind of like to keep tabs on that, especially because I end up driving along a lot of rural country roads, and it's like, how far away am I? But I had some problems doing that with this trip. And then I get done with being at Oscar, and I had told my wife, like, hey, I will text you when I'm leaving Oscar so that you know that I'm 2.5 hours away. And I send her a text, and I don't hear back from her. 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 So I get back to the Heritage Center. I was going to call her, and see what was going on. And I get a lovely message, kidder, that my phone is no longer on the network.
Awesome.
So I had been without a phone the whole day, to which thankfully I could prove that because my wife was pretty angry when I showed up, and it's like, you didn't call, you didn't text like you said you would. So I didn't know what to do with the kids. It's like, I did text. I can, show you. So we got that sorted out. So, but here's the other part of this, kidder. So I went to Best Buy on Sunday to try and fix my phone. I ended up back in Best Buy on Monday. Because I had decided, kidder, it was time. I'm doing a lot of traveling, this week. I'm doing a lot of traveling next week. It's like, okay, I cannot stand terrestrial radio. It needs to end. I need to just go and get an iPod and have my own tunes, have my podcasts back. I like having it on an iPod. I know most people do this stuff off their phone, but I like my phone to be fully charged, or at least have a charge when I get to my location. So I don't want to just drain my phone battery. And yes, I know I could plug my phone into the car, and I mean, you can rig up a system. But there's something just nice about having a nice dedicated system that doesn't have a lot of stuff on it that I can just fill with as much crap of music and podcasts. Anyway, so yeah. I'm back to downloading the show, Kidder. So we'll see some more downloads. Our numbers are going up. Howard's back.
Doubling overnight. Thank you.
Yeah. So I went back into Best Buy, and I had already looked, and they said that they had an iPod Touch in stock. Now, Kidder, it has been a while since I've been in Best Buy, mostly since they got rid of the music and they shrunk the video games and they got rid of the DVDs, because there's just no reason for me to go in Best Buy. There's just no reason. Why would you? So I know you have reasons. I don't.
My visits are down 90% from what they were 5 years ago. I'll just say that. Yeah. Continue.
So I'm walking around trying to find the iPods. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, Howard, you could have just asked one of the friendly blue shirts and they would have told you. But I have this bad history with me and the blue shirts. I don't like them. I don't want them to bother me. I was already upset with the ones who didn't help me with the phone situation. I hate them when they come up and bug me while I'm
Hey, is there anything you need help finding today? No. Oh, great. Well, I'll be, my name is so-and-so, and I'll be right over here. Just holler if you need anything. Yes, leave me alone. Hi, welcome to Best Buy. Do you need help finding anything? Go away. Sorry, continue.
It's okay, Kidder. The worst one I ever had, I was in the Best Buy in Kalispell, Montana. And I was in the video game section, just perusing. Back when, again, they had a good video game section you could peruse. I was just perusing, seeing what they had. And a blue shirt walked up to me and he's like, "Hi, you finding everything?" "Yeah, I'm doing just fine." So you like video games?" "Yep." What types of games do you play?" "I play a bit of everything." "Oh, so you play racing games?" "Yes." You play first-person shooters?" "Yes." "You play sports games?" "Yes." "Fighting games?" "Yes." "Boy, you really do play a bit of everything." No shit. What makes you think I lied about this? And then he proceeded to try and sell me on like Battlefield Bad Company 2 or something like that. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like he just wasn't getting the hint. Like, I'm just perusing. I don't care what you think of this game. Just leave me alone. Thankfully, my wife showed up and she saw. And after she stopped laughing, she came over and bailed me out. Because, again, Howard attracts strange people. Anyway, so I walk around Best Buy trying to find the iPods. Can't find them. Looking everywhere. And I finally break down. Like, I want to get out of here. Because I have not had great experiences with Best Buy the last 2 days I was here. So I find, somebody comes up and asks, like, "Hey, can I help you find anything?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm looking for, an MP3 player." "Oh, that's up here." Walks me towards the front of the store. And I'm thinking, you say MP3 player, they would show you, like, all the options. Or ask a clarifying question. Nope. Walked me up to the section, goes, "Well, we have one. And it's one of those like SanDisk ones." She goes, "That's all we got. Need anything else?" "No." "Okay." Walks away. I'm just like, so here's the thing. If you're in sales or supposed to be helping people, why would you show them only the $50 crap product when like 2 steps over in a locked case is a like $350 iPod that would also play MP3s?
That's because you're a boomer. I had an MP3 player.
Well, listen, I've been sleep deprived. I didn't want to get into the whole, say an iPod. Why do you need an iPod? Like, it's like, yeah. Anyway, I ended up then standing by the locked case, waiting for a blue shirt to come back. Finally one did come over and he's like, "Can I help?" Is someone who had bugged me with the same crap that you had talked about earlier. The "Can I help you?" No, I'm fine. Came over and was like, "Hey, you still need it?" I'm like, "Actually, I need you to this case. I want to buy this iPod Touch." "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." He was great. Rung me up. That kid wins the award for best customer service out of every schmuck I dealt with. Because even like the gal who led me up there, like you would have thought like I had asked her like the most inconvenient task, you know. All I said is I'm trying to find this, you know, and it was just kind of like that. It's over here, you know. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know where everything is in your store. This is why I asked.
Probably wasn't in her section, so she couldn't write down the sale. I don't know how they do commission or if they even do commission, but that'd be my first thought.
Yeah. But, you know, there's something to be said about, you know, still being awesome about it so that, like, I write up, like, "Hey, Best Buy, had a great experience with so-and-so." Instead of what I'm probably going to write up when I have some time this weekend of, "Hey, Best Buy, this guy who worked the phone department sucks." You know. But
how about a 0 out of 5?
Yeah. Probably. I'd go lower if I could. So I got my iPod Touch, which was great. But here's going. This is going to go right into topic 4. Let me talk about Apple a little bit.
Okay. At this point, is your phone actually working, or is it still a brick in your pocket?
It's working. It's working. It's fine. I haven't, again, played a lot with it because, again, I'm still waiting on my case.
But even when you're in Best Buy, at that point, when you're looking for your MP3 player, it was working at that point.
Yes, because this was the day before I got kicked off the network.
Timey-wimey network not connected. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Apple.
Right. So I buy this iPod Touch, and I went with that mostly because that's really the only good MP3 player you can get these days. And I had one before. I lost it in the move. And so I was excited to get this back. But first of all, I get it plugged in. I'm starting to work on uploading stuff to it. And it goes, "Hey, it needs an update." I'm like, "Fine, update it." Well, the update ended up having an error, which crashed the iPod, which then caused it to have to do a system restore back to factory settings.
There goes everything you just wasted an hour on.
Oh, more than an hour, kidder, because it was like late at night. In fact, I'm like, well, okay, it's going to do the system restore. How long could that take? I stayed up till like midnight. And at that point, I'm like, I'm supposed to get up and go to Oscar tomorrow.
Hey, remember when you can listen to stuff from your phone?
Which, even if I had set up stuff to listen to on my phone, kidder, I ended up off network. I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway.
You would have downloaded it locally. You could have listened to it. Yeah. Spotify allows you to download our podcast and listen offline.
Yeah.
Subscribe today. Search on your Spotify app, Beer, Blues, and BS, and like the show on there. Follow us, listen to us, please, and thanks. And download it for when your phone decides to stop looking for the internet, or if you're flying and you don't want to pay for the on-flight Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have Spotify.
It's free.
Yeah, but I don't like having it on there. I'd have to download it and work. And then I'd be expected to like subscribe.
You're not selling it to the people listening. Talk about being in sales, you son of a bitch.
Listen,
I'll sell you something right here.
I was never meant to be in sales. And kidder, also that if I had Spotify, then you'd expect me to like subscribe to the Killer Kidder Show playlist and listen to all of that curated content that you have worked so hard to produce over the years.
See, that would be cool too. I understand that you might not want to listen to it all the time, and that's okay. There's only like 6,000 songs, so it's fine. You'll get to it at some point. I get it.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the numbers up.
Yeah, I know. For those of you listening, go out, subscribe to the Killer Kidder playlist for all that great music, and that way then
Yay.
Howard doesn't have to.
No.
Anyway, so Kidder, because of all of this, I was stuck when I went to Oscar Zero once again, listening to god awful terrestrial radio.
And how many times did you hear ZZ Top?
Zero. But every time I hit like the pop music station, they were either playing Ed Sheeran or The Weeknd. Yeah.
I don't know how you can even play The Weeknd on a weekday. I mean, that's kind of weird, right?
And, well, yeah, it did feel a bit off. So, but it was all really pretty bad. There was also like a really terrible commercial that I heard too. I'm trying to remember what it was for. All I remember is that they were using at the beginning of it the milkshake song
by Kellis.
Yeah, like it starts off with that and then like stopped and it then sold the product and then it went back to it. But it was like it's like, yeah, if you kind of know what that song's about, I wouldn't be using it in my ad.
Yeah.
Especially when I think the line going back to the song was like, do this so you can get back to your milkshake. Like trying to hit the, like it was about like, the song was about an actual like milkshake. But yeah. Anyway, Kidder, yes, I listened to a lot of really bad radio, but good news was...
Thanks to the power of the internet, I need to interject while we're on the topic because I have found that it is Bounty Milkshake, the name of the advertiser. Thanks to the power of internet, it is a milkshake commercial that wants you to, I guess, bring the milkshake to the yard, but not quite what you're wanting, I guess. I mean,
yeah, because it has like the classic chorus, and then it's like an oh no, you spilt your milkshake. Thanks to Bounty, we can clean it up. So that Bounty quicker picker upper, cleaning messes faster, so you can get back to your milkshake. And it goes back to the song. That's Now that you say that, I remember the ad.
And now they need to pay us because we aired it. Thanks for your contribution, Bounty Paper Towels, the quicker picker upper. Bounty.
Invoices in the mail.
We'll just send it off to your corporate headquarters. I'm sure we'll get payment direct.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
So, but
we need to keep the show on the air somehow.
Yeah, but I did get the iPod working. And by the time I got back from Oscar, the system restore was done, and I could start that process over. But the other thing I'm going to say, Kidder, is in the time between iPods, Apple has moved away from like the way that it had music and podcasts set up through iTunes and such. So now they have a music app and they have the podcast app.
Oh, of course, because why would you have it all in one audio app?
Right. So now when I want to switch back and forth, I have to switch completely to a different app instead of just going from songs to like podcasts. And I will say, Kidder, they have added so many button clicks. And I used to, with my old iPod, as I was driving, be able to just with my thumb switch. Like I knew, like, okay, I got to push here and shuffle. Didn't even really have to look down. I could just go click, click, click. And I could switch it. Can't do that with this one. There's all of these clicks and button things, and I can't even, like, I click on a show and it's like, well, hey, you could play the newest one, or here's some episodes you could download. It's like, well, I don't want to, or actually it's not even download. You can stream. Well, I don't have internet. I'm driving in my car. I want to listen to the ones I download. It's just Apple.
Howie Blues.
Perfectly good system. Why mess with it?
It's kind of like the old school Zune, right?
I loved the Zune. The Zune was awesome.
That was set up just fine because if you knew how to use Windows, you knew how to use the Zune. It was exactly, basically the same thing. But what I would say, you only need to use one app, and that's Spotify. You get your podcasts and your music right there. Just gonna throw it one app, and it's not Apple because I hate those bastards. And their stupid products and their stupid taskbar on the top of the screen and their stupid window technology.
As I said, I really have not had a problem with like my iPod and originally with that, but this experience has been not as great as I'd like it, and I don't know that I like the new apps, and I'll learn how to use them, but it was annoying trying to like download podcasts that I wanted to listen to, and even to figure out like how do I get into the settings so I can reset up all my podcasts so that they download and play oldest to newest, and I want the 10 most recent or all of that. So,
well, since you forked out the cash for it, I hope that it works correctly for you. But if you get to that point where you want to break it in half, just download Spotify. It's fine. It's
how much is Spotify paying you for all of this?
Not enough.
These plugs.
Definitely not enough. I feel like a music artist at this point. I'm not getting paid enough.
I kind of think I have to almost at this point, if you pitch it one more time, put just download Spotify as the title to this particular episode.
I mean, there's enough room, for the lower third. We can have this download Spotify for free, or over here somewhere. This is logos on the screen, semi-sponsored content. It's fine. So
that Kidder was my epically long story about bad customer service and a bit of a review on these Apple products and such. I did think about following in your footsteps and adding another Triple B Buzz episode with my new phone, and then I realized like I don't care enough to do that. So sorry anybody waiting for that. I know Kidder's first Triple B Buzz episode was very popular and everybody liked it, but
you
I just don't care that much about phone tech. It's I don't know. I just have never been thrilled by phones enough to be like, I will know everything about phones and smartphones. And I mean, Kidder can tell, for the audience, Kidder can tell you that up until 2018, I still didn't have a smartphone. That's when I got my first smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is only the second smartphone I have ever owned. So
I have to say, you went to Best Buy and you didn't call me, and then you wonder why you have problems. I'm just going to throw that out there. You always called me when you went to Best Buy. What should I get? We'll do this and make sure you tell them to do this and this. Awesome. And then you're out the door. What happened this time? 2 weeks of misery. The 2 weeks isn't up. That's why I'm saying 2 weeks of misery. You're still in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, I haven't really played with my phone and such. So right now, Kidder, all I can tell you the best feature on my phone is that.
Look at that. We got to get rid of that Verizon messaging app, though. That needs to go. Yes, I saw it.
It works for me. I don't know what to tell you. The other thing that I like about a Kidder is just this photo here. There's not a photo that says, God, I hate Mondays more than that one. It's a classic.
I feel you. It's kind of like when you run out of beer, right?
I was just about to say, Kidder, I think it's time for What's on Tap, round 2, because after this, I see we're transitioning into more of the visual entertainment spectrum that is out there. Words, Howard, tired. Anyway, What's on Tap, round 2. Kidder, what do you got?
Oh, I was going to have you go because I've been waiting in bated breath, high anticipation for this second one that what did you call them? The Triple B taste tester? No.
Beer critic is what I went with.
The beer critic, yes. He says that it's good.
Yeah, well, yeah, because, like most critics, they're always harsher on the movies than, like they need to be. Unless it's some really artsy film. So, it's ain't fitting. And he won't ever listen to this
I know he's not going to listen to it. There's a lot of words in the dictionary, and I don't think artsy is one that fits your dad. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Hey, he has made some fine barbed wire yard art. I will say that.
For sale, not at beerbluesbs.com.
I don't know. If we put that up, it probably would sell better than anything we put up.
Probably would. With our luck, it would outsell every piece of merch on the store for eternity.
Yeah.
So I guess if a marketing opportunity, if he wants to sell his art, we can put it at beerbluesbs.com.
Yeah, I think he's more into selling guns right now. But anyway, Kidder, this is another one of the campfire variety pack from Shiner. This is the Shiner S'more is what this is. That's right. It's a s'more beer. Chocolate and marshmallow ale, 5% alcohol by volume. It is ale brewed with marshmallow and chocolate and with natural flavors added. And
See,
again,
they call it s'more, but you don't get it. You don't get some more of it. It's just 12.
And I only have the one. So, anyway, you can smell the chocolate in it. So we'll see. I'm not the biggest chocolate fan. So we'll see how this goes. But this, as I said, he rated it highly. So we'll see. We'll see if it's any good. Ooh. Well, Kidder, I will say this is not as dark as I thought it might be. Most beers with chocolate are dark. But yeah, you can actually taste the marshmallow in there actually pretty well. And it's kind of got like the chocolate, like bitter aftertaste to it. So it's kind of like a sweet, like of the marshmallow, and then a nice chocolate bitter note afterwards. But that's not bad. And as I said, not as dark as I would have thought a chocolate beer would have been. I guess I also should have said, though, Kidder, this does say on the can here, made with real Texas chocolate, to which I'd like to point out, Texas, not known for its chocolate, so keep that in mind if you do go out and buy one of these. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I'll enjoy it the rest of this episode, but yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's not bad. All right, Kidder, what do you got?
Well, I might as well join you in the Shiner because I have a couple Shiner box left. So a classic staple on this show at this point, I think, just because I've had enough of them on the show. You've had a couple of them on the show. There's been a sure as hell enough Shiner products on this show. So, I think if at this point, if anybody's going to sponsor the show, it better be Shiner because damn it, we've had more of that product on our show than any other beer combined. Even Bud Light or Bud Select, like we've had more Shiner product on this than any Budweiser product combined.
I think it's because Shiner is one, easily accessible up here, but two, they do a bunch of these seasonals that are either going to be good or they're going to be terrible. And so it's a gamble. And so it makes great content. It's one of those where I know when I'm there building my 6-pack of podcast beers, if there's a new Shiner that I haven't had, it's like, I'm either going to enjoy it or the audience is going to watch me suffer and enjoy it. So it's good either way,
So if you'd like to make Howard suffer, buy him a beer right now at beerbluesbs.com. All you need to do, click the Buy Us a Beer button or visit the Buy Us a Beer page. Then buy us a beer. Type a comment in the special instructions box, and we'll share it for you right here. Your message saying that you bought us a beer. Thank you for doing that. Please and thanks, by the way. And thanks to all of our previous sponsors of buying us a beer throughout the past year and change. Because it's fun, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Mm-hmm. I will say, Kidder, we had my parents over for dinner a couple nights ago. And my dad knows where my beer fridge is. And I was surprised. He drank 3 beers while he was here, but they were all Bud Light. And I told him, I said, you could have tried some of the other stuff in there. And he's like, Bud Light was the safest thing in your fridge. So, little bit of a hint that there's some stuff in Howard's fridge to be looking forward to in future episodes. So, there you go.
I need to make a run to the liquor store to find some more beverages, because I'm at the point where obviously I got, a Shiner, could have probably grabbed another new one, but I think that's the Line & Kugel was my last new beer for the show, because I have the Zing Zang Margarita, which I believe I gave one to you, maybe, can't remember, but
you gave me the Bloody Mary.
The Bloody Mary, okay. And then the vodka lemonade I've had on the show as well, from the Dogfish Head. Yes, distilling company. I had to look 3 times, make sure, whatever. Oh yeah, I don't know what the hell it is. This sucker is where did it go? 7% alcohol per volume on here. So, yeah, that'll make you question things. And then, of course, what I'm still waiting to hear from Mr. Boucher is New Belgium's Mountain Time Premium Lager, the crushable, tasty lager that you just want to have so many of these because they're so good, from New Belgium, that premium lager. So, Mr. Boucher, I'm still waiting. Plus, with the Avs in the playoffs, need some of that Mountain Time on hand to enjoy when the Avalanche kick ass. So now that we got into sports entertainment,
you were good until you did the and let everybody know that you had just made a smooth transition.
It's the Shiner. It's getting to me. It needs to tell you that it's arrived. Here's a joke, huh? Yeah. So I put down a wrestling update, and like normal, I know that you haven't been able to watch. The difference is that you haven't had your weekly update to keep up to date, thanks to this show. So really, the only thing I want to talk about with Raw and SmackDown, it's pretty much the same stuff that has been going on for months. They had a Randy Orton 20th year celebration party on Raw, which was kind of neat. And the rest of the episode was the same crap. Even on SmackDown, they're not really doing anything interesting. So I typically make it through both of those episodes, which totaled is 5 hours of content in less than half an hour every week. Also, just a side note that WrestleMania Backlash is this Sunday. Yes, Mother's Day. And that's at 6 o'clock for the pre-show. And we may or may not have special bonus coverage that, when this episode comes out, has already been out for 3 weeks. So go look if you're watching this after this episode's done. Please and thanks. Final note is AEW. They have some great storylines. They've let a couple people leave with their contracts expiring. Notably, Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. The contract expired and they couldn't come to a monetary agreement, so Cody went to WWE. There's been a few others since Cody left. Of course, Brandy Rhodes being, Cody's wife, there's the potential that she may come to WWE with a contract of some kind. And other matches to touch on real quick. There was an Owen Hart Classic qualifying match, and FTR fought each other. And it was FTR's idea, and they had to convince Tony Khan to do it. If you want to see a good wrestling match that I don't want to necessarily say that it'll stand the test of time and push this is a best damn match ever. But you want to see a good wrestling match? Watch that from AEW Dynamite, because it was fantastic. It was good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. CM Punk challenging Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Double or Nothing. I had to remember which one we're on. And that'll take place Las Vegas, Nevada, just around the corner. Let's see. Haven't watched Rampage or SmackDown because that was on earlier this evening. But there were a couple things that were supposed to happen. And I don't know. Let's see. Haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. Other than that, what else is on TV? Well, the Weather Channel is now 40. They celebrated their 40th anniversary on Monday. And, of course, with the 40th anniversary, they did a bunch of highlights from over the years of pretty much everything that I've watched since. Obviously, I haven't been around for 40 years yet, but I've watched a lot of the Weather Channel, as Howie can attest to. And they are launching, or I guess have launched, the Weather Channel Espanol. It is the Weather Channel in Spanish. Available in Spanish markets and on the Local Now app. So the first thing that we noticed is that the female meteorologists are rather well endowed. So I think they're trying to compete with some of the other Spanish television networks with the weather ladies.
Couldn't tell you.
Be interesting. Real, hard-hitting marketing. Aside from that, what else is on TV? Well, it's not really TV, but it was on my TV. The Star Trek Picard Season 2 finale was Thursday. And obviously, we've missed a few episodes here and there, me talking about them with you. But they went back in time in season 2 and had a bunch of slow moments and a bunch of drug out moments and a bunch of things that didn't necessarily need to happen, that could have been condensed, and other things that should have been expounded upon, because it would have been really interesting to see other pieces kind of fall together. But they didn't do that. And a lot of the people who are defending the show, the writing was superb. It was okay. It was all right. They could have done a lot better in several different areas of the show. If you want to know those areas that I am annoyed with, go back about 4 or 5 or 6 episodes and watch those, and then you'll see, so that I don't have to explain it again. And it's not like the Discovery rant. That show's, it's turning into straight trash. In fact, one of my coworkers who got into Star Trek last year and has been watching, he watched all the films, and he's actually going through Deep Space Nine right now and has watched some of Discovery. Or maybe clips. I can't remember, because he refuses to watch it because it's garbage. And he's like, no, I'm not watching that crap. It doesn't exist. I'm gonna stay over here in my old Star Trek that is good and interesting. They can have that newfangled trash. So I had to laugh at that. I'm like, see, it's not just me. The series 2 finale, I know you're not going to watch it, so spoilers. Whoopi Goldberg returns. They figure out a way after beating all the odds in the past, because they're in the year 2024 and civil rights unrest everywhere and the planet is dying, and et cetera, et cetera. And they make it through it somehow. All the pieces come together. And then Captain Rios falls in love with a doctor and her son and decides to stay behind in the past. I mean, it's potential you could have just brought all of them to the future, because that's what they did in Star Trek 4. You know, just bring them to the future and leave that impact of positivity. Nope. They didn't bring them back for season 3, so they basically gave them the what should we say? The killing write-off, because he, died in the past. So he's dead because Q showed up and at the end brought the rest of them back to the future, or present day. Other plot holes include the Dr. Girardi, being assimilated by the Borg Queen in the past, and then taking the La Serena ship that they took to the past out to the Delta Quadrant, so then she could form a slightly different Borg collective where they ask people if they want to be assimilated instead of just doing it. Because it's a big time to ask for consent if you want to have all your individuality removed or something like that. And then it all ties in, and they're suddenly back in the present. And of course, the Borg Queen on the ship is Dr. Girardi. And now the Borg are members of the Federation, and Captain Rios is dead in the past, and so he's not there in the present. And 7 of 9 becomes captain of the Stargazer, even though in the later shot she's not wearing a uniform, which she would have had time to change clothes because Picard did. What other little bizarre things? So, of course, Dr. Girardi isn't there because she gone back in the past and been assimilated. So there's a infinite time loop there by itself, because she, as the Borg queen, after being assimilated and lasting for 400 years, showed up there, but Dr. Girardi's over here, and they directly interact. So, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. And Will Wheaton, speaking of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, he showed up to basically say that in his Next Generation exit, where he became a traveler, he basically morphed into the beyond. He and a group of individuals patrol, for lack of a better term at this point, time and space, ensuring that it continues on and all of the threads stay intact. So he's basically, and his team are basically the Doctor.
Or a time cop.
Or time cop. So I'm like, interesting to bring him back. Nice surprise, because that's one surprise they didn't actually frickin' ruin. Like, and that's the piece where it gets me into the Strange New Worlds premiere. Okay, so they need to stop sharing like spoilers, because as you and I have discussed, I'm pretty sure we've discussed this on the show, of like trailers for movies. You watch that and you're like, that's probably half the movie. I'm not going to go watch this now because I've seen the whole movie. Like, why do I need to go? So they've gotten terrible. They have become absolutely atrocious with sharing too much information. Promotional photos, news releases, information leaks, whatever it is, they share too much information. For instance, we know in Strange New Worlds that James T. Kirk is showing up on this show. It is yet a different actor who will play Lieutenant Kirk, but we know he is showing up either this season or next season. Why? Make that a surprise. And don't screw it up, because his history is kind of delineated already from these other things around it, right? He has a set path that in the Prime universe is somewhat defined. Okay? He's on certain ships with certain ranks. He's progressing through Starfleet. There's certain things that are in canon that you should pay attention to, and please don't screw up. The other thing is that Paramount Plus announced for season 3 of Picard that the entire Next Generation crew is returning for the series. Imagine how huge of a shock and a surprise it would have been to tune in to whatever episode 1 or 2 of season 3, and you're like, there's Geordi, where's Worf? There's Worf! Like, that, holy crap! Like, they're showing up. Nope, they're all gonna be there. How about a surprise? Like, I hate surprises, but that would have been a surprise I would enjoy. Oh, we got to get people to watch. Star Trek fans are going to watch this unless they're tired of it being garbage and are tuning out on purpose, which is why you're releasing this information as a nostalgia hit and saying, hey, you should watch this because, you know, those people you liked back in the 90s, they're going to be on again and they're playing them. Whatever. Other tie-ins that are unnecessary. They're on Strange New Worlds. The security chief is related to I guess about that time would be related to Khan Noonien Singh. So Khan from Star Trek II and Space Seed in the original series. Of course, those two things haven't happened yet, but she's a Sing, so she's related. So is she genetically modified? We'll have to see, but kind of annoying. They also bring in Cadet Uhura, played by another actress, and that part kind of unknown. I mean, a cadet wouldn't be a communications officer on a starship unless the captain specifically brought her in. And even then, like, she would have to be on the ship already, training, kind of like Wesley Crusher did in Next Generation. He was essentially a cadet, or like Nog on Deep Space Nine. That was a way better story because Nog was a child who then wanted to join Starfleet, became a cadet, being backed by Captain Sisko, and eventually earning his commission and being a Starfleet officer. Way better of a story. So there's that. Nurse Chapel is on the show, and they made her, or the actress who plays her is, I think, Australian or from New Zealand, but thankfully you don't get a lot of that accent. You get more of the straight English accent. So, as in like an American accent, not British. But kind of weird because I'm like, are there no people out here that that would be able to play Nurse Chapel who would speak like Nurse Chapel? Just a question. The finale was all right. The premiere of Strange New Worlds was really, really good. They're going back to episodic storytelling. So it's wrap it up in an hour and you're good. And with the exception of, those items I touched on, in addition to the beating you over the head with your society is terrible and be better, the episode was great. Really good. And I would love for you to see it and see your thoughts on it. The Enterprise is visually represented in a beautiful digital model, and the sets, for the most part, are beautiful. Engineering is a little wonky to me because it's kind of like the Kelvin timeline, where engineering is not that big, and the ship is not 87 stories tall. It's, the original Enterprise was not even 30 decks. So when you have turbo lifts shooting through and doing like roller coasters, like, that's trash. Stop. So what I know we talked about the visual of the redesigned Enterprise for Discovery. What do you think about that?
So a couple of things, because I've had comments on some of this as you've been going.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of to jump back to like the Picard stuff, hearing what you said. I mean, I was interested in seeing Picard, but yeah, you kind of killed that for me. So,
I know, spoilers, and I'm like, you'll probably never see this. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just hearing even what you said. It's like, oh yeah, I'll skip. Speaking of Strange New Worlds, I saw some of the other like trailers and such that they have put out for it, and I'm not gonna lie, Kidder, seeing those, like the first like teaser trailer they put out had me like interested. I kind of have lost interest as I've seen other trailers for it. It just, I don't know. The first one kind of had, like, to me, some potential of being, maybe back to like truly exploring, the galaxy, and not always about conflict and such. And then I saw these newer ones, and I'm like, oh, there's a big explosion, here's this. It's like,
because you gotta have those action scenes to keep people interested.
I mean, the occasional one is fine, and who knows? I mean, again, these are short trailers, right? But it was enough to make me kind of go, I just was maybe hoping for something a little different than, oh, we're going to be a conflict with so-and-so and conflict here. I don't know. It went from intriguing me to kind of now being like, meh.
Did you see the trailer where Pike is at his ranch in Montana?
Yeah, that was the first one. And that I mean, it looked good. That trailer had a lot of like emphasis on like the worlds and such, which is part of, I think, why I got like, ooh, interested, because we're gonna go places, we're gonna do stuff, and these last ones that have come out have been very kind of like the generic, as I said, kind of like actions in space, and it's just
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that it's good, just so I don't have to hear you whine about it for however many weeks they've dubbed this season to be, which is, probably like 6. So you'll probably rant about that.
More than that.
So, yeah. So as I said, I was intrigued, and now I'm kind of just meh on it. So I'm not saying that's bad. It's just meh.
So I'd like to get you to, at some point, obviously we don't have to watch it together, but I wouldn't mind watching the episode again to get you to watch it, to see your reaction on the episode itself, because and I tried to stay away from as many teaser trailers as I could. I only watched the 2 official trailers leading up to the show because, again, I didn't want to have any of that spoiled for me, because, let's share a bunch of extra information of good surprises. But the ship looks really good. The overall visuals, there's only a couple things that I noticed that they could have spent maybe another hour on to clean up. Even in the trailer, there's a couple of those scenes with the Enterprise. The opening credits, they're pretty good too. I think they captured the essence of the original series, and being between Enterprise, Discovery, and the original series. So I think they did pretty well. The other thing that I want to touch on with it is because, as you know, Anson Mount played Captain Christopher Pike through Discovery. And as part of his run on Discovery, he runs into basically choose your fate. Either don't get this time crystal, because again, time and whatever, and you live a normal life, or you get the time crystal and you are infused with your death. It shows you how you die, you feel how you die, and you are locked into that fate. You don't know when, but it will happen. So, he's got his what?
I don't ever want to hear flack about Star Wars, The Force being BS when you have time crystals that lock you into your fate and death. I'm just going to say that. And I'll leave it there because we have more to talk about. But I'm just saying, I don't want to hear any more of this, the Force BS when it's like time crystals that lock your fate.
But remember, it's from Discovery, so I have many issues with Discovery and the stupidity of what they have going on there. So it fits in with it because we already know how Pike ends up. So why did they need to? Whatever. The whole time crystal thing, like, whatever, fine. So he knows how he's going to die. And that's where in the trailer, when he's riding the horse through the snow of rural Montana, it's how he's got the giant beard, and he this is after those events, and he's having to digest this. You know, how do you live your life when the end of it has already been planned? You know, how do you make it from this point to where you are? We have no idea what's coming up next, but you know how you die. How do you make it? Like, what's worth living? And then on the other hand of it, like, what if you choose something else? You choose to make a different life. I don't know. I'm getting all philosophical here, but it's a little bit of what they tackle in the first part of the premiere as well. So in that respect, it would be better if you have seen the episode or two of Discovery where you skip through half of the garbage and then, you know, it's there. But again, it's kind of an interesting piece of philosophical, like, if you knew how you were going to die, how would you live? Because you know that, you know, obviously if you know that your death is when you're older, or you know how old you were, whatever the case is, but you're much older, what do you do to pass the time? You cement your legacy and do what you can and make better choices and try and avoid what it is and avoid life. I don't know. There's that. Closing thoughts on Star Trek for this week.
If you're asking if I have any, no. I have a feeling we'll be talking about this next week and probably the week after and the week after.
I might touch on it. Just a little touch on it. Because there's that, and apparently the Section 31 show with Michelle Yeoh is still in the works, even though no production has been happening on it. No script writing, anything. And then Star Trek Lower Decks will be out probably later this year. We shared the graphic at some point, had the whole timeline for most of the year. So I'm looking forward to lots of Star Trek and Star Trek Online as well. I've been playing a decent amount of that lately. So happy to get back in there and do the things, play the stories, you know, have some fun. So there's that. Next on the list, staking in space, is Halo. Halo Season 1 continues. We've had a few weeks since we've been able to talk about that, and they have suffered from some of the horrible storytelling, horrible writing, non-informed visual, all of it. Because, again, the director, producer of the show has not watched or played any of the games. So they're doing all this stuff of, you know, my feelings and which is really annoying. And they're trying to dig into Master Chief's history, like how he became Master Chief. Sure. Whatever. But he keeps taking off his damn helmet. You know how many times Master Chief takes off his helmet in the entire game series? I want to say twice. They take off and put on Master Chief's helmet every other minute in the show, it seems. Most of the time, he doesn't have it on. It's not Master Chief. He always has his gear on because he's ready to fight. You know, the classic, I need a weapon. Like, that's Master Chief. Stop screwing with him. Yet I have nothing against the actor who plays him. I think he does a fine job portraying Master Chief. But why? Stop it. Leave his helmet on. There's whole groups on the internet of how bad Halo is, the show. And then they joke. In fact, one of them was a video they recorded. Oh, Master Chief put his helmet on, and they recorded it. And he gets in a warthog over to the site, gets out, and takes the helmet off again. He had his helmet on for 43 seconds. Good job, writers. Come on. So
I think part of that is it's hard to get, like, acting wise, it's more of being able to see the actor's face and so they can convey emotions and things. Although, to the point, it's Master Chief. He doesn't tend to show a ton of emotion, but that's why they're doing this, is so that you can see the actor's face and can see him convey the emotions. They were better at solving that with, like, Tony Stark and Iron Man, where they did the helmet view with Robert Downey Jr., where you could see his face. Because otherwise, if you only saw Iron Man, you know, in the armor, then, like, some of the better Iron Man moments wouldn't have conveyed as well. So that's why they're doing it, but I would agree. It sounds like it's kind of ridiculous. So
it's so bad. It's like the helmet's on, the helmet's off, the helmet's on, the helmet's off. They keep just on and off. Like, just stop, leave it on, because even I think that's what I liked so much about the Master Chief character. Even everything is in third person with the cinematics. You have Master Chief talking, and through the head nods and how he's looking, like, it's conveying that sense of what he's feeling or thinking. So I think it would have been fine in the series for keeping the helmet on 90% of the time. Like, I'll even give them that they can take it off and reveal his face. But he has his helmet on maybe 10% of the time. Like, he's even taken off of the battlefield. Stop! Leave it alone! You keep screwing with it. Just leave it alone. And then we talked about Captain Keyes before. There's that, and they have, like, the writers confused him with was it Sergeant Jones? Johnson, that's right. Sergeant Johnson. Like, it seems they have him, Captain Keyes, and Sergeant Johnson confused as the same person or something. And maybe that's why they cast the black actor to play him. Again, there's nothing wrong with the actor. He's a really good actor, but he's not Captain Keyes. It seems that he's Sergeant Johnson. And you haven't seen Sergeant Johnson. Like, where is he at? Is he Private Johnson? Private! He's out there with a cigar. Like, there's so many missed moments with this. I think the best moment was in this past week's episode. I shouldn't say this past week's, because we haven't watched this episode yet. It was the week before, but through 3 weeks ago. So again, before we really had a chance to talk about any of this, Master Chief had Cortana implanted, which is a little bit different because if you, as you know, Howie Blues, Cortana's like a chip that's inserted into the back of the suit. So she is a part of him, but is not. Right? Like there's that balance. Well, in the show, they surgically implant Cortana into the base of his skull. And then, of course, we already went down the road of hashtag not my Cortana and that whole fiasco. But basically, John, because they all call him John for the most part, anyway, he starts kind of freaking out because he's learning pieces of his childhood, how he was abducted by Halsey, and Halsey is a kid snatcher to essentially create the Spartan program because they have to be old enough but young enough at the same time, and there's a sweet window, and they find certain kids to take, and they put biomolecular clones of these kids in their place of the real kids, and that clones die within several weeks of a disease onset, and so they lose their children, and on and on. I'm like, that's getting a little dark. But
Actually,
I don't remember, I never read any of the books.
that's where it is.
But
I read Fall of Reach, and which is what Halo Reach would eventually be based on. But yeah, they talk about that in Fall of Reach, which is the creation of Master Chief. They go into all of that, so it's there.
Or
it's in the.
This takes place on Reach too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they get into that and all of that, but it's yeah. So they're not off on that, but yeah.
Which is good that they actually did some research on the franchise. Do something kind of right. The visuals, again, very good. The pelicans look like pelicans. The warthogs, for the most part, look like warthogs. What's kind of annoying is whenever the Spartans are around and they're wearing their armor, they have it's essentially the same sound effect as when the Cybermen are on Doctor Who. I'm like, that's a little overkill on the sound effect. Like they're walking on dirt. They're in the spaceship. They're on the moon. Like, it's a bit much for that because I don't seem to remember hearing every footstep that Master Chief made in every game. So it's kind of overkill. And then, of course, when they're not wearing their armor, but they're still wearing the same boots and they're walking around, it right? Like, what's the deal here? At least bring it down like 20 decibels so then you hear that would be acceptable, but it's over the top. So there's that. I say the warthogs because for the most part they look like the warthogs in the game, but they're actual vehicles. So there's slight variations. Otherwise, they're kind of going this weird route. Again, I mentioned that they're on Reach, so this is in Reach's heyday of everything. Pretty much looking good. For leading up to the video game Reach with the invasion and where like everybody dies almost. Other pieces, the whole side story with the girl that Chief rescues is kind of dumb. because how does it fit in? Well, she wants to save her planet. Yeah, but how? Well, I'm going to take them all on. Yeah, but they've murdered everybody else that's part of or was part of your father's organization. Yeah, but I'm going to do it. All right, kid. Oh, and then they have this other character they've introduced, which is it's a human that was captured by the Covenant, but they discovered that she has these powers with the artifacts, where when she touched them, they come to life. And of course, Chief found out that when he touches them, they come to life and show numbers and stuff like that and how to use them. And so I don't know how that fits into the Halo verse, but it will be interesting to see where they go with it, even in the episode that aired this week, to see what happens. I don't know, man. They're just all over the place. What do you feel about that?
It sounds weird, but I'll reserve any judgment until I actually see it. So
we'll get you that free trial for Paramount Plus, so then you can watch Picard, Strange New Worlds, Discovery, the motion Star Trek the Motion Picture 4K remastered director's cut, and Halo. just got 3 months of viewing for you, no problem.
Yeah, I don't have the time for that.
Well, who needs sleep, right?
Me. I do. Desperately.
Oh, I thought you were replaced with a robot.
Yeah, I wish. No.
Or 2 or 3 of you to get everything done.
Nope. Just me and lots of caffeine.
Okay.
So, Kidder, I put a new segment into the topics. Every now and then I have a good hot take on something that could warrant some discussion, maybe not between us, but maybe with people in the audience. And so I had this one that popped up recently. I thought I'd share it. You know the movie Encanto. It's a Pixar movie. You've talked about it. I have yet to see it. My lefty watched it without me, so I just haven't had time to then sit down and watch it. But here's what I know. I know that there's a song that has become like extremely popular out of it called "We Don't Talk About Bruno."
No.
Yeah. I finally listened to the song, Kidder. It came up in the playlist. And I'm just going to say it. It's not that good.
It's a song.
It's a song. And I'm not to say that it like is sung poorly or is a terrible song, but it's not as... it's not... I don't feel like it warrants quite the level of like what it's been getting. So there you go. A hot take from Howard. You can feel free to debate me in the comments. And with that challenge dropped to the audience, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. It's probably time for us to wrap this up with some cheap plugs.
Okay. I suppose it's about that time. I just need a zen moment after that hot take for a second there. I mean, I can only imagine the fury running through some people wanting to comment, like the local geek. I'm sure he's raging right now. Or he's Cajun. I don't know. Visit us on our website, beerbluesbs.com. Check it out, beerbluesbs.com. Stop by, buy some merch. beerbluesbs.com. Click the merch button. Shirts, sweatshirts, pants, glasses to drink out of, stickers, other cool things at beerbluesbs.com in the merch store. And of course, while you're at beerbluesbs.com, buy us a beer. Talked about it earlier in the show, but it's super easy and it's super helpful because you buy your good brothers a round of tasty beverages. You can even, we haven't done this yet, but you can even suggest what the round should be in the comments. If we can find it, we would love to put that as a round. Try something a little bit different. beerbluesbs.com. Buy us a beer. While you're there, you can also visit our website, at beerbluesbs.com to see the YouTube page. We're on YouTube at the video version, but we're also everywhere with the audio version, so you can listen to this show wherever you go, and even with certain apps like Spotify, you can download the episodes for offline listening. Yes, subscribe to the show, please. On Spotify, just search Beer, Blues, and BS, or go to beerbluesbs.com and get the link. We also, of course, are on a variety of other audio podcasts, such as Google Podcasts, Google Play. That's where the store is, where you can find the Google Podcasts app. We're also on iTunes, which is on the Apple Podcasts app, and through iTunes. I don't know, Apple's its own world. So just search Beer, Blues, and BS, and you'll find us. Like I said, Spotify, but we are also on iHeartRadio and the iHeartRadio app, which is also free to sign up for. Pandora, owned by SiriusXM, so there is that potential that maybe we'll get picked up by SiriusXM. We're also on Amazon Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, and Player FM. So if you are one of the audio listeners, you love to listen to podcasts, please subscribe to us on any and all of the services you have an account. And all of those, just search Beer, Blues, and BS. So like us, share us, and please subscribe. We sincerely thank you from the top and bottom of our hearts. So, for my esteemed co-host, Howard Blues, I'm the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. As always, keep your glass at least half full. There's some free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down the dusty Tuscon Highway. Go Avs! And we'll see you on the next one of Beer, Blues, BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
All right. Another episode in the can.
There's one of them there episodes there, yeah. That's some good stuff there. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I started running out of steam towards the end of the Star Trek conversation. So
it's understandable. It's all right.
So yeah, it's making it hard to respond to things, so I just kept zoning out. It's not that what you were saying was boring or uninteresting. It's just like bed, man, bed. Oh,
it's all right. I get it.
yeah.